fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
Sup guys, it's Lane here with Broke Bets with Carson.
Yes sir, looking forward to this pay-per-view.
Gonna be a good card. I'm excited for the main event. I know some people, it could be great or real bad. You know, it's kind of in between there. So, let's get to the bets here. So we got UFC 281, 9.45 units on the line to make pretty much that exactly back. First bet, taking Dustin Poirier straight here over Michael Chandler. I think he's got the better overall skill set when it comes to striking. I don't really think Chandler's going to wrestle him to the ground here. I got him at a great number. He's now at like minus 230. But I hopped on this line like 2 months ago when I had the option to. But again, I think he's just going to be outstriking Chandler on the feet. Maybe Chandler shoots for a couple shots, but it might tire him out a little bit. And I think that we're actually going to go to a late KO or a decision here, and we'll get to more of that later. But next bet, got Alex Pereira beating Izzy here just for a lighter underdog bet. With him floating back up with his odds right now, there's great value there in my opinion. Izzy, again, he hasn't really fought like the walk down pressure and pace that we've seen him do since like that Gastelum fight. He's kind of been very hesitant with the striking, and with someone like Pereira, if Jared Cannonier's touching him up at moments, I imagine Alex is going to be better with his range and get his punches off. So I'm thinking there's a knockout here.
Izzy's never fought a guy that's like the same height and same reach as him. So.
Yeah, in MMA. And there's debates whether he beat Rob Whittaker. There's questions still behind Izzy. He's still really hard to beat. I wouldn't blame anyone to be on the other side of that. But I got to take a shot with Pereira here. Next one, I got Ulberg, a city kickboxing guy, trains with Izzy. A lot of people are coming into this thinking that Nicolae is just going to take down Carlos and grind him out. That might happen, but in my eyes, Nicolae really struggled to get takedowns versus Kennedy, and I just don't see him, dragging Carlos, a bigger opponent, to the ground, holding him down. Recency bias plays a big role in this. When Nicolae looks as good as he does against Ihor Pretoria, who in my opinion, it wasn't UFC ready at the time and probably still shouldn't be in the UFC. You're going to look a lot better and the odds are going to look better for you and people's opinions are going to be different. But I got Carlos here taking this one to a decision, so I like that bet with 1.2 units. Continuing to go down, we both like Renato Moicano here over Brad Riddell. What leaves me a little shaky, though, is Moicano's his own head movement. He got hit a ton versus RDA. He's gotten hit versus Fiziev, versus many opponents. But I think in general, the size and the ability to deliver straight punishing punches to then his jiu-jitsu game, it's hard to pass it up. Riddell doesn't have a finish, I don't believe, in the UFC. Kind of hard to bet back Riddell here, and Moicano looks really good here. Next, I got Dom Reyes beating Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann, I feel like when he takes those steps up in competition, he usually struggles to get those wins. I mean, he did beat Tuitalaba, but Tuitalaba also just got beat by Johnny Walker, another similar-sized opponent with the jiu-jitsu. He's a hit-or-miss fighter. He's been finished a lot. Dom Reyes, 3 fights in a row against light heavyweight champions. So the level of experience in competition isn't really measurable or comparable. But it's a light heavyweight fight, and a lot could happen. But Reyes at a great number, I gotta take that. Next, I got Julio Arce beating Montel Jackson. Julio Arce, great takedown defense. Montel Jackson hasn't been so much challenged in the UFC, and I just see a tough fight here for Montel Jackson. Arce should be able to hold his own on the feet. We're going to see, in my opinion, a technical striking match, and I think at points Arce could pull ahead, even though he's coming in on a reach disadvantage. I could see him slipping punches and finding some of his own, mixing up some kicks to the body, kicks to the legs, and winning a decision here.
Arce's got good takedown defense too, so
yeah,
I mean that's what Jackson's looking for.
I think a lot of people are looking at the takedown for Jackson, but yeah, if he's not gonna be able to get that to the ground, it's gonna be a close fight on the feet. That's just how I see it. And hey, if Montel's trying for takedowns and slows down, it should be Arce's fight all day. So something else I'm looking at there. Next. I'm just putting Wellington... Oh, sorry. Didn't even write it in here. I got Turman for a live bet. Possibly. I don't like much of Petroski's game. If you look at that guy from China that he faced, he was tired instantly 2 minutes into the first round. It looked horrible on his part. He fades really easily as the fight goes on, and doesn't seem to take punches extremely well. Wellington, the other side, I'd like to put a bet on him, but I just can't trust him in that first round. I need to watch 5 minutes of this fight before I can totally make a decision. And Turman's chin's just, it's questionable if he can even take a shot. Not that Petroski's that good of a striker. I do think Turman has the ability to take this one, so that's going to be my live bet here if I stick with that.
Yeah, and Turman's last fight, he was, I think Serkinov was like a minus 700 after the first round, so maybe something crazy can happen like that too, if Petroski gets tired.
Yeah, they get sweaty in the grappling exchanges. You don't know what happens. Parlays, unfortunately got none for this card. I just don't feel like putting too many people together. I feel like straight betting is definitely where all the odds are on this card that line up for me. Into prop bets, though. I got Frankie Edgar by decision. I really want to take his money line, but at the same time, I don't think a 41-year-old's going to find a finish here. And, I don't want to put too much value behind him because who knows where his heart's at. This is his retirement fight. Obviously, he'll want to win, but at the same time, you probably aren't training to the same level, but he's a legend. I think his wrestling could beat Gutierrez here, and honestly, he could outbox Gutierrez at many different points. The big question is those leg kicks for Gutierrez and how that affects Edgar. But I honestly don't see it.
Could favor Edgar in this fight too, with it being in New York. I'm sure he'll get most of the cheers.
Right, yeah. He's gonna be, the crowd's on his side. He got cheered on the whole press conference, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. But yeah, I see this as a low risk bet. It's also feels good to put money on somebody who's had an amazing career for their last fight as well. And then you got your Dom Reyes bet here as well.
Yeah, I know to start round 3. I think Ryan Spann, he's usually in or out of there in round 1. I could see it maybe starting round 2, which is why I kind of gave myself a little more breathing room, and I could see Reyes getting a finish in round 2 if it goes that far. But most likely round 1, we see a finish.
I like you giving it the extra time here. Reyes, he's going to be coming off of 2 knockout losses in a row. I can't imagine that he's just going to go into a firefight, even though that's what Ryan Spann kind of likes to do early in fights. So giving it that extra 2.5 minutes, if people are picking the under 1.5, might be smart. It's a big difference in number, but it could be punishing if you miss that one.
Yeah, I remember doing Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson. I did start round 2, and I think a lot of people had over 1.5. And
right.
That blew it.
Next, I got... we both got this one. Julio Arce and Montel Jackson to start round 3. Like I was kind of saying in that, when you got two people who can stop the grappling and technically strike, and Arce really doesn't put himself in danger when he's striking, in my opinion. It's pretty technical, slick, nothing crazy. He got knocked out by Sonya Dawn, but it's Sonya Dawn, fast, strong dude. And then I'm mixing that with Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler to start round 2. I think that these guys are both super durable, and Chandler's probably going to win round 1. And if Chandler wins, it's probably going to be in the first 2 rounds or by decision. I don't really see a late knockout for him. But, when you have these 2 durable people, Poirier's been to the second round in every fight. If you ignore that Conor McGregor broken ankle fight, he's been to the second round in every fight since this Michael Johnson knockout loss. So that's a lot of fights in a row going to that point. The question is, does Michael Chandler fight to that pace? And I'm going to say yes to that.
Yeah, I think maybe you see Chandler wrestle, but I doubt it. I think Poirier's chin's really good. I think Chandler's kind of been tested there. He's gotten knocked down, but he's recovered quickly.
Right.
Besides that Oliveira one.
Right.
So I like it to start round 2. I'll be sweating 5 minutes, but I still like it.
Yeah. And then to polish it off here, I got Matt Frevola and Ottoman. I don't think this one's going the distance. I was thinking, the lines flip for Frevola, and I was thinking, maybe I'll put money on Frevola, but that's just going to be so sweaty, and it to not go the distance, you cover the Ottoman to get the early knockout and Frevola for the comeback win, so I like both those options. And then also mixing that with Turman and Petroski not going the distance. Turman's chin and Petroski's gas tank. I said it in my Instagram post too, is Azaitar has a questionable gas tank, so does Petroski, and Frevola and Turman both have questionable chins. I think that makes for a fight to find a finish. So, yeah. These are the bets here, A through Z. But yeah, pay attention to those Turman live bet odds, and anything else from you?
Matt Ferrola's at plus 125 right now.
It's intriguing. It's just like how you're gonna feel like a dummy if you bet. You're gonna feel like a dummy if you bet him to win, and then he gets just absolutely put on skates instantly.
When the odds flip like that, he was the favorite, and now he's kind of a slight underdog.
Typically, it's bad.
Doesn't go well for the public.
Right. But yeah. Also, ones I was looking at, Juarez Gomez. I was thinking, she'll probably get that win, but I just can't pull myself to do it. If I watch her get grappled down for 5-10 minutes or get subbed, it's me painful. The under 2.5, I could see her getting wrestled to a decision. I'm not going to play that. Looked at Molly McCann's line as we considered it, but again, do you want to watch her get wrestled till the end of the fight? And again, Zhang Wei Li.
Do a little something.
And again, it's the same setup for the Zhang Wei Li fight. It's like she's so much better of a fighter for the stand-up, but like if she's on her back, there's just questions. So staying away from that one as well. But don't blame people for trying those picks. Those are some ones I was looking at. Also, Dan Hooker straight at like minus 150 or something on DraftKings right now. That's a pretty good number for a pretty high caliber fighter. But I'm going to stay away from that one as well. So, anything else from you?
You nailed it. Enjoy the fights, everybody.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. The old doubted me said I couldn't do it. The old said I couldn't do it. Look at me now.